This cruise was 15 months in the making, booked during lockdown when we weren't even sure it would go ahead. So to add to the excitement, we decided to book a pre-cruise stay at the Pier One Hotel. With a fantastic location, we enjoyed a beautiful summer sunset and, for good measure, an espresso martini. Soon it was time to call it a night. It's cruise day. I stayed overnight at the Pier One Hotel, which is just on the western side of the Sydney Harbour Bridge, and it is just a very short walk over to the overseas passenger terminal, which is where Celebrity Eclipse is departing from. This morning though, Celebrity Eclipse of course is coming into the harbour, but we also have Pacific Adventure coming through, which she's doing right now, and she'll be docking over at White Bay with the Viking Orion, and Celebrity Eclipse will be sailing in just behind Adventure, and later today Quantum of the Seas will be joining all of these ships, and she'll be anchoring at Atoll Bay until she can move over to the overseas passenger terminal once Celebrity Eclipse departs tonight. So very exciting day ahead, and this is one of the benefits of staying in the city the night before a cruise, whether you travel to Sydney or you live here. It makes the next day a lot easier, and you also get to enjoy some of the excitement from the morning a little bit earlier than boarding time. We've just checked out of the Pier One Hotel in Sydney, and we're making the short walk over to Circular Quay. So just seeing Quantum of the Seas off my shoulder here, and Celebrity Eclipse is at the overseas passenger terminal, which is where we're off to now on foot with our suitcases in tow. It's only about a 5-minute walk, and I can highly recommend the Pier One Hotel Sydney if you are doing a pre-cruise stay or you just need somewhere to stay. Luggage drop-off is located right next to the main terminal entrance, and there were plenty of staff on hand to help. We arrived at the terminal entrance, dropped off our luggage, and as soon as we went up to the retreat suite entrance for check-in, we were checked off on a list and provided with a red sticker, which will indicate to the ship that we are part of the retreat experience. So far so good. We've been escorted inside. Apparently we're going to be walked up into the check-in area as well, and then escorted from the ship onto the ship. So we'll see how it goes, but so far so good. So we've just gone through the priority check-in process, and I've got to say it was pretty seamless. We were pretty much escorted all the way through to the front of each queue, and I believe we're the first people walking onto the ship now. So can't complain about that. So far so good. This is where things got a little awkward. Along with their applause, the lovely crew were saying welcome back, and I thought it was a little presumptuous of them to assume that we'd sailed with Celebrity before, but apparently our check-in had been so efficient that we somehow managed to beat all of the back-to-back passengers on board. Our retreat hosts were waiting for us, and after a minute or two of confusion and laughter, Alexis escorted us straight up to our suite. Our entry was so speedy that I didn't even have a chance to look around before we arrived in our room. We're all checked in here in the Royal Suite, and we have met our butler. He came and introduced himself and explained a little bit about how things work on board. We have access to a special restaurant as a retreat guest called Lumini, or Lumine, depending on your pronunciation. We're going to go down there now for lunch. They're basically operating for retreat guests in place of the main dining room. So there's no reservations required. You just walk in and take a seat, and they serve you. So we're going to go and have some lunch now, and we also need to complete our muster process by having our SeaPass cards checked off at our muster station, which happens to be the main restaurant. So we're going to head down there now and explore this beautiful ship, which we have not really seen at all because we came straight to the room. So we'll go now. After having our SeaPass card scanned at our muster station, we walked down to Lumini on deck 3. This fast became one of my favourite perks of the retreat. We were seated immediately and ordered our first meal on board Eclipse. It was fresh, tasty and well presented, and the Lumini crew couldn't have been more personable. After lunch, we admired the Eclipse's grand foyer and the beautiful Christmas decorations that adorned the entire ship. We made our way over to the Martini bar, surely the most famous of all of Celebrity Ship's bars. The ice-covered bar top can be a bit sticky. If your glass sticks though, the trick is to bang the bar top next to your drink with your fist, and it will release. We made our way outdoors to the Sunset Bar up high on deck 15. The bar offers fantastic wake views, plus it's located adjacent to the Lawn Club, so it's a fun and unique shipboard spot. We watched on as Sydney's busy harbour began to clear, first with Pacific Adventure's sail by, and then Viking Orion's. Soon it was our turn, and I watched as the lines were released from the Dolphin. We decided to head to the balcony for sail away, knowing that Quantum would be anchored off Eclipse's port side. Quantum's crew wasted no time and had already hauled their anchor and begun cruising to the terminal where the ship would berth overnight. Lumini was the convenient option for dinner, and we made our way down to the restaurant just after 8. Lumini offers an elevated, rotating menu for breakfast and dinner daily, as well as lunch on turnaround days and sea days. It's a casual but elegant restaurant with an amuse-bouche offered at dinner time in addition to the regular 3-course menu. After a very long day, it was time to call it a night. I awoke to our first day at sea and made my way up to the Eclipse's excellent walking track for a few laps to start the morning.
So it's day 2 on board Celebrity Eclipse. It's our first sea day as we sail on over to Noumea. We have 4 ports of call on this 11-night South Pacific cruise. It originally started off as a 6-port cruise, but we had to drop Port Vila and Isle of Pines. Originally that was because of some regulations in those ports due to COVID restrictions and things like that. Those were later wound back and cruises are now sailing to Port Vila. Isle of Pines is still off limits. But in doing that, the cruise line changed our cruise ports over, and we have a visit now to Lautoka in Fiji. So that was an unusual addition for a cruise of 11 nights in length, because Fiji cruises from Australia are normally 13 or 14 nights. So I'm actually excited to be able to go to Fiji on a shorter cruise, even though there's only 1 port of call there, but still exciting times. I'm ashamed to admit that I haven't actually walked around the ship yet, so I'm going to go do that this morning. We had a great breakfast in the room that was organised by the butler. We placed an order for breakfast last night and that all arrived on time this morning, and it was fantastic to eat it in the room and enjoy the space that this room has. So the rest of the cruise is just going to be enjoying our ports of call, the ship, relaxing, and hopefully a bit of a more luxurious experience being on board Celebrity and staying in a room that is part of the retreat. And I hope to bring you more details about exactly what that means throughout these vlogs.
Sea days are often packed with events on cruises, from dance lessons in the grand foyer to lectures in the theatre. We also stopped by Celebrity Central for some future cruise information. Even indoor archery was offered, for the Robin Hoods among you. We made our way up to the Sunset Bar and soon made some new friends, and they invited us to join them for lunch at Sushi on 5. Sushi on 5 is one of the specialty restaurants on board Eclipse. It offers an a la carte menu with individual pricing and a variety of starters, sushi rolls, noodle dishes and desserts. There are also specialty cocktails and sakis available. Everything we ordered was delicious.
It is the early evening on the first sea day on board Celebrity Eclipse as we head off to Noumea. Had a super relaxing day, met a couple of you guys, shout out to Scott and Clark and Julie and Peter. Had a very fun afternoon with you all. We spent some time after that in the hot tub on the balcony and had a really relaxing afternoon. We are now going off to a senior officers cocktail party in Michael's Club. That should be a nice time and opportunity to mingle with some other guests. And after that, we might be going to the show in the main theatre, and then we'll be having dinner at some point, but that's the whole purpose of a sea day, is just to relax and see where things take you. So we're going to continue this wonderful day on board Celebrity Eclipse.
Michael's Club isn't a large space and it was a little busy for our tastes, so we soon left and made our way to the Eclipse Theatre to catch the main show.
They are taking care of your daily needs, and we hope at the end of the cruise we have all your expectations exceeded. A hotel director, Mr. Vladi from Serbia.
After the captain's address and welcome, we enjoyed the show called Topper. I honestly can't say what it was about, but I enjoyed the spectacle, especially the aerial work. After showtime, we made our way over to Lumini. I was quickly becoming a fan of the ease of dining in the restaurant. There are no reservations required. Your only job is to arrive during the open hours and you're guaranteed a table. It wasn't totally without its issues though, and I had a very strange interaction with a waiter tonight, and I'll tell you more about that soon. It was enough of an issue for me that we left before dessert, and that's saying something. The next morning, after a walk on deck, we made our way down to Lumini for a fuss-free breakfast. I don't normally eat breakfast at home, but when I cruise I always do, especially when it's this good. We started to feel the ship rolling a little more than usual. We made our way back to the room so I could get some work done. The captain came over the PA and announced that due to an issue, one of the ship's stabilizers had been housed. I've sped this footage up so you can see just how much of an impact stabilizers really have on the prevention of rolling. The issue seems to persist for most of the day, but that didn't stop us from going to the gelateria. The smell of freshly made waffle cones permeates throughout the entire center of the ship, by design I'm sure. As if we hadn't been eating quite enough yet, our butler Ryan left us a cheese plate to enjoy during the afternoon.
We've now reached the evening on the second sea day. Today was super relaxing. I didn't do too much. Mostly had lunch and then sat in the hot tub for a bit out on the balcony. Tonight though, we're going to what they call Le Petit Chef. It's one of the specialty dining venues on board, and it's really unique because what it is an animated dinner service. So we actually get to watch a projection of this miniature chef, Le Petit Chef, cooking and preparing the meal, and then it's served. So it's going to be very interesting and fun. I'm looking forward to it. I've heard from a few people that have gone to it that they've enjoyed the experience. So going to that shortly. And then after that, there's a few shows on. There's a comedian later tonight. So we'll see if we can make it through to that late, because tomorrow morning we have an early day in Noumea. But either way, it's a delightfully relaxing cruise so far, and looking forward to tonight.
Measuring 6 centimeters, the world's smallest chef, Le Petit Chef.
I really enjoyed our dinner and the experience at Le Petit Chef and recommend it highly. There are alternate menus offered throughout the cruise, so you can always return to sample other options. Personally, and although I did really enjoy it, unless I was traveling with someone who wanted to experience it for the first time, I feel like it's a one and done for me. After dinner, we went to comedian Jeff Green's late adults-only show for a laugh, before ending the night with a stroll on deck in the warm, tropical air. Make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell to watch as I jump on board a yellow train, get invited to the helipad, attempt to snorkel, and watch my dinner get set alight. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.